Hey guys, welcome back to Ben Talk Sports. Now with preseason starting, people are excited to see their favorite NBA stars back on the court again. But last season, there were some players who kinda disappointed and didn't quite meet their expectations. So in this video, we're going to be taking a look at 5 NBA players with the most to prove in the 2020-21 season. But before we start, please smash that like button as it really helps out the channel. So, without further ado, let's begin. Starting off the list at number 5, Paul George. Playoff P, better known as Way Off P or Pandemic P now, did a lot of damage to his reputation last season with his performance in the playoffs and blowing a 3-1 lead to the Nuggets. While George played fine in the regular season, averaging about 21 points, 5 rebounds and 4 assists, his playoff performance left much to be desired. He wasn't shooting the ball well at all, averaging just 39% from the field and 33% from 3, and had a true shooting percentage of just 53%, and he infamously hit the side of the backboard in Game 7. And with him signing his sweet new max extension that could pay him up to $226 million, he has to prove that he can play beside his star and help Kawhi and the Clippers get to at least the conference finals. Number 4, John Wall. After suffering a knee injury, then later an Achilles injury, John Wall has missed 2 full seasons of NBA basketball now. Now to put that in perspective, John Wall has been off the court longer than Jordan's first retirement. But at his best, Wall was one of the fastest, most explosive players in the entire league, while also being a great facilitator as well. Now during the 2016-17 season, which was the last season he played most of the games, he put up averages of 23.1 points, 4.2 rebounds, and 10.7 assists. But missing 2 years of professional basketball will definitely hinder his performance on the court. But for what we have seen in his first preseason game, he looked extremely good actually. But there is uncertainty in Houston surrounding the whole James Harden situation and whether he still wants to be on the team or not. But outside of that, John Wall has to prove that he can still be an all-star caliber player. Otherwise his contract is going to look pretty awful. Number 3, Pascal Siakam. After Kawhi left Toronto, Siakam broke out last season, being named an all-star starter. But the reason I think he has to prove himself this season is that he performed terribly in the entire playoffs and just looked like he can't be counted on as the first option on the contender. When the defenses tightened up on him, his moves became predictable and he was easily stopped as he averaged 17 points per game on 39% shooting from the field and a putrid 19% from 3 on nearly 5 attempts per game. So if he truly wants to be one of the best players in the league, he has to show that when defenses hone in on him, he can still play well as the number 1 guy. But last season was his first year in that kind of role, so I'll cut him some slack. But with the subtractions of Serge Ibaka and Marc Gasol in the offseason, a lot more of the team's production is going to fall on Siakam's shoulders. Number 2, Zion Williamson. Zion was hyped up as the next generational talent ever since he was in high school with his insane mixtapes and highlights. So when he got drafted first overall last season, people were expecting potentially an all-star season for the 19-year-old rookie. But that didn't happen. Not because he wasn't good enough, but because of injuries, causing him to miss most of the season and playing in just 24 games and on a minutes restriction. But even though he was on a minutes restriction, he was still able to average 22.5 points, 6.3 rebounds, and 2.1 assists on 58% shooting from the field. So now the only thing he has to prove is that he can actually stay healthy and maybe help the Pelicans sneak into one of the playoff spots. Now before we get to the top spot on this list, Here are some honorable mentions who I don't think necessarily have to prove themselves this season, but time is certainly about to run out. And those players are Markelle Fultz, Lonzo Ball, Blake Griffin, and Russell Westbrook. Finally, at number 1, Devin Booker. Booker is one of the most offensively talented players in the entire league, but the biggest criticism about him is that he is never a winner and that the stats he puts up are empty. But people never really blamed Booker that much because of the Suns' lack of talent. But in this offseason, they brought in the point guard Chris Paul, as well as a solid 3-and-D player in Jay Crowder. So finally, this is the season where Booker is not the only thing defenses have to stop. And judging by the fact that they went 8-0 in the bubble while missing DeAndre Ayton for a portion of the season, hopefully he can take the next step and make the playoffs. But if he doesn't, then we might have to question if Booker is the problem. So that's my list of 5 players who I think have the most to prove this upcoming season. In my personal opinion, I'm really excited to see what's going to happen with all the injured stars coming back. Well, almost all of them coming back. And the new rookies playing as well. But anyway, let me know what you guys think about this list, and also let me know who do you think has the most to prove this upcoming season. So with that being said, thank you guys very much for watching this video. We are pushing for 1,000 subscribers, so if you guys liked it, smash that like button and subscribe as I upload new videos every single week. And thanks for watching.
Imagine, if you will, sitting down to your morning coffee, turning